Welcome everyone to the Dulye Leadership Experience Workshop, How to Brand Yourself in a Virtual World. Please note that this program is being recorded and will be available for subsequent viewing on the DLE YouTube channel. Please keep your microphones muted during the presentation. Before we begin, we've got a quick interactive poll for you. This is our latest DLE 10-second poll. Please click the link in the chat and submit your response. We'd like to conduct research on workplace culture and we'd like to get your feedback. So thank you for taking that poll. My name is Marcus Coleman. I'm a member of the DLE Advisory Board and a 4-time alum of the DLE Gym Now Retreat. I'm based in the Berkshires where I work as a registered client service associate with Raymond James Investments. I'll be moderating today's workshop along with my fellow advisory board member, Kaylee Carmel. Kaylee is an account manager at CompuWorks in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. To maximize everyone's learning experience, we have some core DLE ground rules. Please use the chat box for your comments and questions that are topic related. Kirsten Westerman of our DLE Programming Committee will be monitoring the chat and will surface your comments or questions to Kaylee and our guest speaker, Cindy Marshall, during the program. All right, let's get some practice with the chat right now. Please take a few seconds to type in your name, your title, organization or company, and where you are located. Once again, can you please type in your name, your title, organization or company, and where you are located. I see them coming in. Thank you. Moving on with a few more ground rules. Do your best to minimize distractions and stay focused. Make sure to have a pen and notepad handy so that you're able to take notes and actively participate. You'll have an opportunity to ask questions to Cindy after her presentation, but please put any questions in the chat throughout the workshop and we can field them to her at the end of the presentation. Also, please take a few minutes to provide your comments to the workshop feedback poll that you'll receive a link to at the conclusion of today's program. There is an exclusive bonus customized by Cindy for this DLE workshop for completing the poll. Kaylee?
Thank you, Marcus. And as a reminder to those of you just logging in, please type your name, title, company, and organization and the location where you're calling from into the chat box if you have not done so already. I'm Kaylee Carmel, a DLE Advisory Board member and a member of our Programming Committee. I'm an account manager at CompuWorks in Pittsfield, Mass., a leading managed IT and technology success provider. I'm delighted to introduce our guest speaker, Cindy Marshall. Cindy has spent over 25 years helping retail brands maximize direct to consumer sales by achieving best practices in e-commerce, digital marketing, retail store marketing, and customer data platforms. She has held senior level positions at Merkle Performance Bicycle, Exclusively Weddings, the Vermont Country Store, Ross Simmons, LL Bean, Appleseeds, J. Jill, and Inc. magazine. She currently runs a company that she founded, Shine Strategy, a retail consulting firm with an impressive client list, including National Geographic, Vera Bradley, Bowdoin USA, Annie Selke Company, Orvis, and Brooks Brothers. Cindy currently serves on the advisory board of Women in Retail Leadership Circle, a members-only networking group that offers enterprise-level women in the retail industry a place to learn, connect, and grow. Welcome, Cindy. We're so excited for your presentation today.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I really am just honored to be asked. And I did a presentation, I think, 3 years ago at the DLE Summit. So I'm excited to be here. So who am I? This isn't my brand statement, by the way. So I live in Manchester, Vermont, with my partner of 10 plus years and my dog Sunny. So Craig is a Brit from England and my dog is a yellow lab. And I run my Shine Strategy consulting company focused on direct-to-consumer marketing. We're what you would call chief marketing officers for hire. And my passion is building brands and driving sales. I really like to accelerate the growth and see things climb. I'm really active outdoors enthusiast, kind of have to be living here in Southern Vermont. I ski, I cycle, I hike. I picked up golf last summer with a whole bunch of girlfriends, so that's been really fun. And I love to shop. So, and I actually dressed up for tonight, got jewelry on, so it's really fun. But I love clothing and home decor the most. I love entertaining with family and friends. And I have an adventurous spirit, so I'd love to travel and can't wait to get back out there and doing that. And I have a huge passion for networking, sharing, and teaching, which is one reason I'm here tonight. And I'm also a survivor of breast cancer. 9 years in May, and so next year will be my 10th. So let's move on. So today, what I really want you to take away is how to create a simple plan for yourself on your personal brand story. So something that's authentic and true to yourself. I call it the elevator pitch. When you meet somebody, what do you do? And making it quick and simple. Number two, what are the elements to build your personal brand, and how do you shine in the virtual connected world? And then number three, there's a lot of talk around the burnout of the screen time and Zoom, and how do you balance a full-time job and avoid burnout and working from home. So that's what I hope you take away, those three things, and maybe more here. So let's move on. So to me, confidence is the foundation in everything that you do. And it comes down to a belief in yourself and your confidence, and then it will shine through. So what we all don't realize is that everybody's born with confidence. However, you might not feel like you have it if you weren't praised as a child. I feel very fortunate. I was praised quite a bit, but it can be hidden until you learn how to use it and learn how to build your self-esteem. So I hope that you can learn how to build your confidence if you don't have it from what I share with you today. So let's take a journey into my story of confidence. My building blocks, I came from a very proper family, was born in Oregon, raised in Maryland, only girl in my family with three strong brothers, went to church every Sunday. By the time I was 16, we traveled to 40 out of the 50 states, so I feel very blessed, but we were doing church retreats. I went to New England College in Henniker, New Hampshire, and graduated with a BA in business and a minor in psych. I was 20 years old, and only happened to be 20 years old because, not that I was smarter than everybody else, my birthday was in December, and my parents, sent me just along with all the other kids, so I didn't get held back. But I had a very driven family, and I didn't know my why yet. And I just said, all right, I've got to go to college and I've got to get through that. And so I had a goal of wanting to be a vice president by the time I was 30. And I actually achieved it at 29. I spent the first 5 years of my career in publishing, where I launched the Walking magazine and I worked at Inc. magazine. And then the next 10 years at catalog and retail brands, J. Jill, Appleseeds, LL Bean. And then I added digital to the mix, where I headed up marketing for a .com, Aziba.com, which was handcrafted goods from around the world. And then Ross Simons, which was a $250 million business with about 20 stores. And then I got tired of how fast and hectic, and it was a really tough environment. And I moved to Vermont to head up marketing for Vermont Country Store, and really just fell in love with the area. And then ended up going through a divorce and went to North Carolina to be president of Exclusively Weddings, a gift business for brides and grooms everything you need for your bridal party, your invitations, etc. And it was really quite a big eye-opening experience for me. And I had 100 to 300 employees, depending on the time of year. And it gave me the ability to manage more than just marketing. And then I left there and got recruited by a larger company, another $250 million business, to be their chief marketing officer, and had a great run there. And then ended up leaving for another opportunity for an agency called Merkle to be their chief marketing officer. And so at this time, here I was, my career was on fire. I was just going full speed ahead. And I wasn't always tunnel vision, but I was just continuing to go and push myself. And so I was healthy, vibrant, top of the game in my world. And then I got diagnosed with breast cancer. So yes, that's me, bald. And I'm just coming up on 9 years cancer-free. But when this happens, I went through shock, I went through fear. I kind of had to learn how to breathe again, like your entire world just stops. And, I've always heard there's something that happens to everybody that is a turning point in their life. And there's a book by Seth Godin, The Tipping Point. Well, this was my tipping point, and I don't recommend this on anybody. I would never ask anybody to have this, but it was my awakening. And I, went through that fear and shock. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to power through this like I would at a new job. I'm going to just take care of myself and learn how to do that. And as they always say on an airplane, put your oxygen mask on first before assisting others. And my whole career, I've been helping everybody else. And so I learned how to put my oxygen mask on. And if you go to the next slide, during my chemo in the spring of 2012, I got let go from Merkle, and I ended up, which was a good thing. It was a blessing in disguise. I didn't like it. And I ended up launching Shine Strategy. And it was all because I was doing a lot of networking in the industry. I was involved in the catalog space on different boards, speaking in the industry. So my networking paid off. A woman who I had spoken with in the past at a catalog conference said, if I could hire my boss, I want to hire you. Can you come down to National Geographic and talk to my bosses? Well, that turned into it was a 3-month project where they wanted me to audit their marketing, and it became a 3.5-year contract. Next thing I know, because of my networking, it was word of mouth of friends on the board at Vera Bradley, and they need help on e-commerce. So I ran a 100-person team there. PacSun needed help, Orvis, Talbots. Bowden is a brand I helped run for 8 years. And last year was the first year that I didn't work with them because of COVID. They had to cut their contractors, but I'm still in touch with them. And it may come back around. And Annie Selke, for any of you that are in Pittsfield, you may know the Annie Selke brand. I'm actually the one that helped brand that from Pinecone Hill and Dash and Albert to the Annie Selke, and built up their direct-to-consumer business, and they're doing really well now. But through all of this, I believed in myself, and I took a different path when I launched Shine. So let's move on and talk about what you can learn from me and how to build your own personal brand. So first, I'm going to go through these 6 steps. So we can go to the next page, and I'm just going to talk about each step. Well, the very first step is to know your unique promise of value. And I call this like a unique selling proposition. When you're in the retail world and you're launching a new product, you want to describe the product and what's its reason for being. Well, that's the same thing you want to do with yourself. And really knowing your unique promise and value, you have to be clear. And so digital marketing or digital branding has actually leveled the playing field, and it's enabled more professionals to increase their visibility with people. So being online gives you a platform that is not connected to your title or how many people work for you. Instead, it's about your knowledge and your expertise and opinions. So I'm going to do an exercise at the end of this about how to come up with what's your unique promise and value. The next is to know your brand community. So that's, your brand community is a group of people that need to know you. So my brand community is the catalog space. I was telling everybody when we just got on here, I got awarded an award tonight. There was a 2-day conference that was going on with this NEMOA organization, NEMOA.org, which is the only catalog conference left. It started in 1947, and I'm one of 5 people that got awarded this Lifetime Achievement Award because I gave back 12 of my years and with them. And so those are my people, they're my family. In turn, else would be your family or your space. Who are the decision makers, the influencers? The peers that are outside your company. So it's always important to talk about, people, to talk to other groups outside your company. And so the digital age has actually helped us find and nurture these connections. So if you go to the next slide, this is step 3, which is really critical. So here is building your LinkedIn profile. So to me, LinkedIn, I swear by LinkedIn. I use it. I think I'm over 6,000 connections now. It's a place where people go when they want to learn about you. It's your online resume. So you want to make sure that your profile that you have online is up to date and an online version of you. And here you really want to focus on your headline, your headshot, a summary about you. So these are some of the elements, but I showed you here what on my LinkedIn. So I have a great headshot. I think it's cute. My hair is up. I'm professional. I could have done something different. I've had different ones, but we've got a poll that's coming up. So we can do the poll. How often do you use LinkedIn? So I'm going to let everybody answer that, but I'll keep talking while you're doing the poll. Your headline and your title, if you see right here, you need to update your title to include your current job title and other affiliations or what you want to be known for. So mine is, I'm going to answer the poll, so it's out of my screen. Thank you. So I'm a CEO, run my own business. I'm a chief marketing officer for hire. So in our space, we call it a CMO. And people will search for CMO or chief marketing officer. And so I have that later in my my outline on my LinkedIn. I'm a board member. I know digital marketing. I know e-commerce optimization. CRM and CDP would stand for customer relationship marketing, customer data platform. And I'm an expert in that whole space and the strategy, which is popular right now. And I'm a performance growth leader. So people will search for that. So what you put in your title is critical. So you want to make sure that what you want to be found and who you are is searchable. The other thing that I think is really important is to look at there's so many people's LinkedIns where they don't have a beautiful scene on the background. I heard a woman from Sperry Shoes talking today, and she's got a great close-up of Sperry Shoes. You could put your animals, you can do whatever you want, but it's your personal view. So that's a little bit about my LinkedIn profile. If you go to the next slide, this is a little bit more on LinkedIn. So I'm spending time on this because I think it's critical. So my elevator pitch is, I'm passionate about helping brands and the people that run them shine by driving profitable growth. It's not just driving growth, I want to drive profitable growth. So if you go to my website, shine-strategy.com, I state this on there. And then So people might go, what is that? Well, okay, this is my elevator pitch. And I combine analytics and strong design aesthetics to drive actionable results. So to me, that's really critical because I'm a right and a left brain thinker and I want to get that out there. So I like the data and I like the design. And I love to network, teach, and give back to others. But I think what's really critical is here in the beginning of your LinkedIn summary. I'm a C-suite, so that means I'm a chief marketing officer. I sit in the C level. I'm a C-suite omni-channel marketing executive. And in my space, omni-channel is critical. So that means any touch point that you have with a brand, that everything is consistent. I'm recognized for driving profitable business growth and integrating effective marketing and merchandising strategies for direct-to-consumer apparel and home decor. So I've had beauty brands reach out. I don't know beauty well. And then I go into a lot more. So what's here, and you go to my profile, these are things that I want to be searched. I want people to search for me. The customer data platform, I want them to search for launching startups, repositioning brands, optimizing existing channels, financial P&L. So these are terms that I want to be able to be found. So this is my summary, but doing your summary is really critical on LinkedIn. And if, you know, the elevator pitch, so people will then ask about Shine, and I say we're, you know, direct to consumer consultants and we're chief marketing officers for hire. That goes right back to my title on LinkedIn. So that was step number 3. So let's go to step number 4. Oh, we've got the poll. Great. Okay, so how often do you use it? Daily. Oh, I'm so happy. Almost 50% of everybody uses it daily. That's great. Never. You can give it a try. Maybe it's not in your area of expertise, or I don't know. But everybody, if you want to be hired, and if you want to be known for what you do, it's important to be there. Monthly, I get it. So on LinkedIn, I'm constantly posting. And so I'm going to get rid of this, the poll. I can close that. Okay, you can close that. So step number 4 is knowing your social media preferences. And I'm going to come back to the LinkedIn bit about the posting. So on step 4, I like LinkedIn because I can post all the time articles. I use Instagram here for my personal. I'm not using it for Shine, even though I have my website there, but I'm using it for personal because I started that way. I could have done a Shine strategy website or Instagram, but I just felt like I need to be seen on LinkedIn and I don't need to be seen on Instagram. And if I was out styling clothing, I would go on Instagram. But I'm out selling marketing expertise. So to me, I need to be on LinkedIn. I do have my Instagram set up so that when I do post there, I can, if I'm at a conference, I sometimes do post from my Instagram and I'll send it to Twitter. When I post on LinkedIn, I send that to Twitter as well. So my Twitter has my sunflowers, which is my theme. It has a different photo. It could be the same photo if I want to be consistent, but I just never updated it and felt that that was okay. I don't use it as often, but you need to know if you like being in front of the camera, go to YouTube. If you don't like being visible, on social, you don't have to be there all the time, but I really believe strongly in LinkedIn. So let's go to the next slide. So here's where committing to being visible. So a brand that's strong doesn't go into hiding. They're out there and visible and available. So make a schedule for communicating with your community. It doesn't mean you need to post every day, and it doesn't mean you have to be an active participant all the time. But commenting on other people's contributions and sharing it with your brand community is a way to stay engaged. So it was interesting because a post came through this morning from a woman that I mentored for years, and she wanted to thank me for being her mentor because it was Women's Appreciation Month. And I immediately responded and wanted to go repost that. And I will repost that. But that's something like, if there's a great article that comes through, I'll repost that and share it and comment on it. And so people will follow you and like you, and then then you can get more engagements. You can also see people that are liking your posts that you aren't connected with, and then ask to connect. And the thing that I've learned is don't be afraid to ask anybody to connect on LinkedIn. If I want to find out who's head of marketing for Converse sneakers, I go search Converse, I go look at who's there, and then I ask to connect. And if I don't have a connection, I might find somebody else that is connected, and I'll ask them to introduce me. So you need to be visible and be out there, but you don't have to do it every day, but at least once a month or so, but comment on people's posts. And then step 6 is to measure the impact of your actions. So on LinkedIn, how many connections do you have? And by the way, there's a settings on LinkedIn where you can hide, not let everybody else see your connections or see your connections contact information, which I hide that. But on Twitter, it's, how many tweets have you done? How many people are following you? On Instagram, how many people are following you? So let's keep moving. So that's step 6. So branding in the virtual world. So first impressions matter and are remembered. So you really need to make sure how you look, how you present yourself. Pick the right background in your house, remove distracting objects. I wanted a beautiful scene, but I didn't want multiple objects. I put flowers out for today. Wear confident colors that make you shine. So someone asked, what are confident colors? And I did a little bit of research on that. So I'm wearing multiple colors, but I like this. This is a dress. I decided to dress up. I like how I feel in this dress. Some resources say that yellow is the most confident color, but most resources say wear colors that you feel good in, that brighten your face. Black is always considered confidence and intelligence. And 66% of women prefer men to be in black, or men to be in black. Red's about passion, blue's about calming, green's about nature, orange is about fresh. But I wear things that make me feel good. So think about that. Practice makes perfect. So if I've practiced talking to you and I wrote my notes, if I'm getting interviewed, I'm going to practice talking into the camera and practice what I want to respond. And I write it down so I learn it. You look at the camera and not at all the people. You want to be looking at the camera, not your phone. Don't pick up your phone. That's distracting. Be upfront and honest. So I was doing a presentation earlier today through this catalog group, and I had someone drilling in the kitchen, and I said, I'm so sorry. And then I had to put it on mute and then come back. But if your kids are there, your animals, apologize, but it's okay. We're all humans. It's just fine. And again, be present. Don't turn off your phone. So, all right. So that's branding in the virtual world. If we go to the next slide, there's a lot of concern about burnout. And I've read and heard about it now multiple times that the maximum screen time should be 90 minutes. That means being in Zoom all day long is not healthy for the brain, not healthy for you as an individual. So if you're at your computer for 90 minutes, you need to get up and do a 5-minute or 10-minute stretch and walk, go outside. Another way to stop burnouts is to schedule 45 or 50-minute meetings so that you're not back to back. You need to have time for breaks. You need to go to the restroom. You need to eat food. So I think that's a really important one. And I know a lot of companies will be in meetings all day long, and it's just not healthy. And if you have a hard time with it, you need to say something to your boss and say, this is not, healthy, because we only have one body. And then the other thing is with working from home, we need downtime to rejuvenate. So don't work nights and weekends. Your body does need to rest. It needs to reboot, and try to take off at least one day. Like I will take off Sundays, and then at the end of the day, I'll look at my, the chat's going crazy. At the end of the day, I'll look at what I have to do for the week. So anyways, take the time off. All right, so what have I learned during this career of mine and my, life at working, which to me, I consider life and home, working I am one person. I'm not a different person at work. This is who I am. I've learned how to trust my gut. I've made personal mistakes when I didn't trust my gut. You hear that noise, you hear somebody talking to you, it's your gut. You feel like if your stomach gets tight, that's not right for you. That's an indicator that something's wrong. I've stayed too long in a bad place because I was scared and I was afraid, but I knew it was wrong. When you know it's wrong, you need to just start the research and reach out on LinkedIn. And people are not tracking whether or not you're looking for a job. I love number 2, fall on your face, not on your ass. You always need to move forward. So see failure as an opportunity. Move forward. Forget about what happened in the past. Number 3, there's no such thing as balance. Just enjoy the moment. So you should exercise. That helps you clear your head. Prioritization matters, so don't worry about the little stuff. I still have a list of things to do. I didn't get to redo my prioritization list, but I highlight the things that I know I need to get to. Know when to ask for help, even when you don't need it. So that's really important, and that's what I learned when I was going through my breast cancer, is how to ask for help. It's okay to take time to focus on your path. Nobody else is. So again, build your LinkedIn, build the connections. Always stay curious. So listen, learn, teach, always ask questions. I'm learning every day and I love it. Number 8, love what you do and believe in the value of what you do. So I'm passionate about the brands I work with, and I choose the brands that I like, the products that I like. I've had brands that have come to me that I'm just not passionate about, and I turn it over to other companies that I know are. Number 9, show compassion for others. At the end of the day, it's half of what you do and half of what you do for others. And then number 10 is let perfectionism go. So I've always been a perfectionist, and I've just decided it's okay. It doesn't matter. You can let it go, and we're all human. So the next slide is what I want you to take action on. So here, 3 things I think you need to take action on. Be present. Going back to the basics and being professional. You have to be honest, reliable, punctual, and don't get distracted. Somebody invites you to a Zoom, don't show up 10 minutes late. Keep the camera on. I think people want to see you. They want to talk to you. If you have to take the camera off, and I understand if you're having a bad day, it's okay, but have a picture. Like Kate does. I see Kate's picture. That's fine. But be punctual and be honest. But focus on what you're doing now. And then number 2, take control of your schedule. No one else manages your schedule but you. So there's been times where stuff has come up and I've had to cancel. I've got, clients asking for something, and I'm like, oh, I got to take care of that, and I got to take care of this. And then all of a sudden I realize I've got to do this personal thing. So you say, I can't, I'm busy no one needs to know why. I'm busy these 2 hours and I'm available here. And schedule those shorter meetings, 45 to 50 minutes. And that burnout, get away from the computer every 90 minutes, just get up and stretch and walk out. Walk around the house, go outside. And then write your elevator pitch. So what is your brand statement? What's your mission and value? Who's the real you? And again, updating your LinkedIn profile. So I'm just going to read for you my elevator pitch. So I've shared my smaller versions and my snippets. I've shared my LinkedIn. So again, I'm passionate about helping brands and the people that run them shine by driving profitable growth. That's on my website. And I had to think about it for a long time, but that's my why. It's not just making the brand shine. I want the people that I've taught and that I've helped train shine so that they look really good for their boss. I want others to shine. And I combine analytics and strong design aesthetics to drive actionable results. I love to network, teach, and give back to others. So that's my elevator pitch. And we're going to work on having you write one down.
So I want to start with a question that actually came from the chat, and it's around LinkedIn. So Dana is an entrepreneur, but she also has a full-time job outside of her entrepreneurship, so outside of her business. And she's wondering if you have any tips because she struggles to balance her LinkedIn profile to represent all of her. So that encompasses her entrepreneur side and her full-time job.
I would then say, where do you want to be? How do you want to be seen? Is the entrepreneur something that you want to be doing in the next 5 to 10 years? Then I would focus on the entrepreneurship. You should still list what you're doing. So there's many people that will have 5 things going that shows the date and present. I actually have it because of the boards that I sit on. So I think that you list both, but if you want to be known more for your business and your entrepreneurial, you explain more about that and share that and make it the first piece that comes up. And then, because you can flip the orders, and then the job that you're doing right now. If the company that you're working for doesn't know about this, then that's a tough one. I would, because you can be found anywhere on social, but I just feel like you need to be upfront and honest about it. And if they know that you've got something else that you're doing, they should support that. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, they do. Thank you. That's very helpful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. So I would put that first in front and center, and then what you're doing for your job full time, and people will see that you're able to juggle and manage a lot.
Great. Thank you, Cindy. And then I'm going to go to questions that we received while people were registering. So people on this workshop who had pre-questions before they even listened to your presentation. So how do you pivot to a new brand identity from a long-standing brand that you created in the past?
A refresh of your LinkedIn. I would new headshot, new title, new background. I would update. So what I do is I go find people that I follow or that I really like, and I look at how they have described themselves. And then I would go on to Twitter, if you use Twitter, and update your profile there. And use different words so that you can be found, and then think about other things. If there's volunteer experience or anything you can do to update it and enhance it, but make it look different and change the content. And then go after the people that you need to meet that are in that new profile. So I hope that helps.
Awesome. Great. And then does one want to combine their personal style of the president with the brand of the company? And how do you find a brand? So I guess, do you want to incorporate your individual or personal style into the company brand?
Yes. Well, you want to, first of all, there's only one you, and so you should always be true and honest to yourself and do your own style. However, if you're working for an apparel brand, you wear their clothing if you like the clothing. So when I worked at LL Bean, we were always getting discount clothing and active and outdoors, but I didn't wear it every day. But I launched a new brand for them called Freeport Studio, and we all were wearing the Freeport Studio clothing because we were advertising it. A brand of mine, Vera Bradley, I carry their bags when I go to their offices. I, tweet about them sometimes, but the quilted bags I don't like, and so I choose the leather bags. But you don't have to do what the president's doing or other people. You need to be yourself. But if it's a product that is wearable or something you can share with your community, then I would wear it. And like, so Sperry, that was on this presentation today, they were saying, do you wear socks? That was one of the questions. Do you wear socks with your topsiders or not? And, do you wear them every day or not? No, I mean, we developed women's shoes so that we didn't have to wear the men's looking shoes to work. But I think it's important to a fine line, but always be yourself, but support the brand that you're working with.
Great. It looks like Cheryl just had a question in the chat, and she's asking, as part of building your confidence, how do you silence insecurities that you're feeling?
Start a journal, write them down, then they get out of your head. And then you can go back to them and think about them. You also you could get a coach, you could get a mentor and talk through it. I use girlfriends sometimes to chat about things that are outside of the office, but I've had coaches in the past through work and my mentors. So I've said, I used to be so intense and demand so much from my team. And then I realized everybody's not thinking the same way I am and I need to relax. Well, that was my own learning and I had to figure that out. But to find your confidence, like the things that all of us have, we have 73,000 thoughts that go through the head every day. And a lot of those thoughts are negative. One way to get rid of them is to write them down and they're no longer in your head. And then you can burn them if you want, or step on them, but get them out of your head, write them down, and then write all these things that you really like about yourself and all the positive stuff. And then that'll make you feel better. And having a mentor does help. And also, if you've got a partner in your life or a spouse or a best friend, ask them to tell you when you're doing something well and to pat you on the back. So, and one of the hard parts about being a leader is when you rise up in the ranks, nobody's patting you on the back. And I used to get so upset about that. Like, no one's telling me I'm doing a good job. I don't know if I'm doing a good job. And that was the perfectionist in me. And then I finally just went to a peer and I said, did I do okay in that meeting? And they're like, oh my God, you rocked it. No, you didn't do well. You should do blah, blah, blah. So be prepared to hear, but you're only going to keep learning. So that's my advice there.
Great. Thank you. And if someone really isn't a fan of being on social media or on phones, how can they find a balance, or what are some tips for finding a balance between branding yourself and being seen in that area, but also not getting fatigued with all the virtual stuff?
Use your desktop. Sorry. But if you don't want to be on social media, I get it. You could stay away from the Facebook and the Instagrams, but I do believe in LinkedIn is where it's a virtual online database of resumes. If you really, really are against that, then you need to find the headhunters and recruiters that are in your space and get your contact out to them. or network with friends via email. So that would be the only way that I can think of. And, you know, not being on the phone, I get that. And I think setting up chats or calling people and chatting with people, you'd have to set up a little bit more of, if you don't want to be on social media. And, you know, that's why I keep my Instagram personal. And I just felt like it was too much. And people have asked, are you going to do TikTok? No, I don't need to do TikTok. I'm happy with LinkedIn. Twitter, I should improve, but I found I don't really need to. I get a lot out of LinkedIn, but it's to each his own. So I hope that helps.
Great. Yeah, that does help. What do you see as challenges for someone looking to start a blog or a business online?
Oh, a lot of competition. Challenges to get, you want to have a really good, well, WordPress is a great platform. So you want a good platform for your blog, but you want to make sure that you're putting links within your blog and keywords that are going to be searchable on Google. So there's the paid search and the natural search. So you want to make sure that what you want to be found for, write down your keywords and make sure that's included in your blog, and then share your blog with your family, your friends, and on LinkedIn, and start creating some buzz around it. But the challenges are that there's a lot of competition, but it's still, this world is huge and there's so much going on that if you can carve a nice niche and you just stick with it and you start to get traction, then you're off and running. And WordPress will help you with the natural search rankings. And
Great. And someone is asking, how do I leverage my social media presence to begin a consulting business? So how do you make that shift?
You make a post, you put a post, well, you start building. Again, you start building your network on LinkedIn, and then you make a post. Hey, everybody, I've just like we were posting about this event. I'm launching this new business. Here's what I do. Boom, boom, boom. And then you start asking to request LinkedIn contacts. And when you're doing that, don't just say, hit the box, connect. You want to click on the name, Cindy Marshall, go into the little area where you can write a message and say, hi, Cindy. I've read about your profile. I'd like to connect. And here's the reasons why. I'm starting a new consulting business and I can bring these 3 things to you. You got to make it succinct, but I always put a personal note because people are more likely to accept that. And then, you know, on Facebook, you can, if you're on Facebook and if you're on Insta or Twitter, if those are what you like, you can post on them as well about your business.
Great. You mentioned showing articles on your LinkedIn to make you more visible. What kinds of articles do you recommend sharing? And are these from publications or that you write yourself?
Most of them are from publications or from groups I follow or what other people have posted. So things that I really like that resonate with me, I'll reshare. And then groups that I follow on LinkedIn, I'm on boards that when they have something to share, I set up Clearview Social, which is like a Sprout social platform, and they will put them up there for me to share. But you can also say on Clearview, I want to know about entrepreneurial news. I want to know about retail news. I want to know about apparel and home decor. And so as articles pop up, I'll share them. It does cost to join Clearview. It's not that expensive, but you could join a social media platform that will push it out to the channels that you want. But I would say sharing others, and if you're reading an article in one of your industry newsletters that you find very valuable, you can take that link and post that right into your LinkedIn and share it. And you can also ask for, I'd love feedback, give me comments, because then you're going to get more engagement.
Great. Thanks for answering all those. What I'd like to do now is launch the poll so people can start answering that poll question. And then as I launch that, if you want to just talk a little bit more about the mini elevator pitch, the importance of that personal statement while people are answering the poll, and then we can go into the last slide.
Yeah, so the mini elevator pitch is just so critical. And again, if you start scrolling through LinkedIn, that beginning of the summary of what people see should really be your little mini elevator pitch, or what you want to be known for. So I think of the elevator pitch when I'm at a cocktail party and I'm going to tell people what I do, and how you want to be seen and on LinkedIn is critical. So what's in your title, which is why I include things like I'm a growth accelerator or a growth performance leader. And now acceleration is a new term, so I'm probably going to go on there and change it to growth accelerator. People who are transformational turnaround brands, they would post that. So I think it's critical to think about, and this, the exercise we're going to do a little bit later, we'll talk about how to do this. But once you start writing it down and then you think about your why do I do what I do and why am I passionate about what I do? That will help you think about the real you. And I'm an account executive and I love working with people every day and I love to see them smile. I love to solve problems. And my industry is XYZ. Some people do want to include their education. I did that the first 5 to 10 years out of school. Yeah, I got a BA in business. It's not as important now later in my career, but it is in the beginning and people do want to know it. And so that's good. And then you also, so you went to Syracuse or you went to, Harvard or wherever you went, your school, you can find them online. And I follow, I've got my New England College alumni group and it's fun and I'll see different posts from them. So I think that's a good one. So these are 3 resources that I selected that I thought that you might like. So the Digital You is about the authenticity of successful branding and how to reveal your own brand. What do you do better than anyone else? What are you most proud of? What makes you lose track of time? So that's like more detailed. And I'm going to flip to the right side, the personal branding. The exercise I have at the end of this is around, I learned from this gentleman, Mel Carson, he's great. And I actually listened to it on Audible, which it's pretty quick, but it's also a quick read. But this is all the practice of defining your personal brand and being able to articulate your experience through digital media and social channels. And then the discipline to help you get out of in-person events or conferences, how to get the most out of them, not get out of them, but get how to be successful at a conference. So those 2 were really good. One's a little bit more detailed on the digital and the personal branding is a little bit more broad. And then the one in the middle is all about the imposter syndrome. And Rita Clifton is really well known as a brand guru and former chair of Interbrand, which is a company that helps build brands and come up with names for brands. I actually used them for this Freeport Studio brand way back when at LL Bean. But shares in this how she learned to work with her imposter self rather than hide it from others. So the imposter syndrome, it can cause like constant fear of being found out you're not good enough. You know what? We're all human. And we all have downsides and upsides, but you have to think about what you're really good at. What are your skills? What don't I like to do? And it's a really good book about the whole imposter syndrome and how people in different ways can be, it can be debilitating and negatively affect relationships. So be your best self, and flaws and all. Okay.
Great. So in the poll, we had 68% of people say that they did not have a personal brand statement. So if you want to touch on what they can do to create one, and then also what the 32% of people that do can do to refresh theirs and spruce it up a little.
Okay. I might sound like a little broken record, but so before I get into the exercise, the refreshing your statement that you already have, I would say, what do you want to be known for? What am I passionate about? What do I like about what I do today, and what don't I like about it, which is in here. And if you don't have one, I would start in the beginning. So let's talk about this exercise. So when I've done this live, which I did 3 years ago at the DLE workshop, I had people talk to their neighbor and say, do this, quickly in 2 minutes. Each person gets 2 minutes to say this. And then, and so if you give yourself a timeline, or if you get the Monopoly timer, whatever it is, but give yourself, a quick timer, and then practice with your, partner, your best friend, whatever it is, and then write it down. Once you start writing it down, it starts to become clear. So what's your education? I graduated from New England College with a BA in business and a minor in psych. That's pretty simple, straightforward. You have to decide if you want to include that or not. Is it going to make a difference? If I had a MBA from Harvard or Yale or wherever it was, I'd want to use that. Or if it's important, if I'm in the collegiate space, it's very important. That's simple. So what's your career history? I've had a long career history, but I had to learn when I was interviewing for some pretty senior positions how to take this long career history and synthesize it down. I spent 5 years in publishing, 10 years in catalog and retail stores, leading marketing for brands like J. Jill and LL Bean. Then I added digital to the mix and became an expert in multi-channel marketing, working with brands like Ross Simon's Vermont Country Store and Performance Bicycle. So you notice I didn't share all the brands. It's too much. Then I launched my own business, Shine Strategy, as Chief Marketing Officers for Hire. We are consultants and we can fill positions for you. So that's your career history. So if you've spent, just synthesize it down to I've spent X amount of years doing ABC, and then I shifted. There's a great article that's come out now about the next new generation, women over 40 that have reinvented themselves. And I'm happy to share it with Linda, and she can share it with everybody. But that's from my Women in Retail Leadership. And it's crazy. But these women that had financial careers and then launched new products because they were going through menopause. I mean, it's just kind of nuts, but how do you reinvent yourself? And then what do you love about it? So to me, when I interview people, I always ask, what do you like about what you're doing today? What do you dislike about what you're doing today? It's the same thing. What do I love about what I'm doing? I love helping brands and the people that run them shine. I love to accelerate brands and grow them profitably. I'm passionate about building a customer file. I love analytics and design. I'm left and right brain. So hopefully everybody's writing some of their own things down right now. What do you dislike about it? I don't like always not being able to see the end result. As a consultant, I can't see the end result. I don't like not having the final decision as a consultant. We make recommendations. And I don't like seeing low-hanging fruit when the client won't implement what I'm recommending. So these are the things I don't like about what I'm doing today. And then where do you want to be in 5 years? Hopefully me traveling the world and sitting on boards. That's what I want to be doing. But if everybody, you could take time to do this. I know we're running out of time here. But I honestly would say, write it down for yourself or do that exercise within, hopefully you were doing it while I was saying it. So yeah, so if you do the quick poll, you can receive the bonus takeaway. And I did put in that bonus takeaway some key tips on building your LinkedIn profile that aren't, that I didn't share with you today. So there's some extra stuff I didn't share.
Thank you, Cindy, for your presentation. The workshop was real, relevant, and actionable. We have too many volunteers to thank, but thank you all. Thank you all for helping bring this workshop and presenting it to the people that joined today. I want to pass it on to Linda Dulye, the founder of Dulye & Co. and the sole underwriter of the Dulye Leadership Experience. Linda?
Thank you. Two quick things. One is I absolutely appreciate the effort. We have all volunteers that plan this programming. They are producers. They become producers of, now we've got international program because we've got Lucas from Brazil on this. So I want to thank Evie Rodriguez, Kaylee, Carmel. Kaylee always stepping up in our moderator and us and our chat moderator, and our chat monitor is Kirsten Westerman, Sherry Stanton, Kate Lawson, Marcus Coleman, not just the voice here, but he's also the chair of the DLE Advisory Board. And Cindy, I want to thank you for being a really dear friend who is incredibly generous with your expertise. I know that you will hear from her if you connect with her. It's magic. So thank you. Thank you. That is our website. Lots of resources. We have a YouTube resource channel that is filled with videos to help you build your skills, learning, and networking. Next month, which is like, what, a couple hours away, we listen to your feedback. I am very, very, very psyched about our programming, okay? Because the first topic that we're going to be addressing in our culture chat is a topic that you folks said in your feedback, and it's likability. We have on the 16th, our guest speaker is New York State Assemblyman Colin Schmidt, whose career in government started in his teens. He's all of 30 now, but his career in government started in his teens. Please join us. Tough topic, likability, started with a politician, but it's something we all think about. And then on the 28th, April 28th, this also one of our top requested topics. It's about public speaking. Actually, Anna Bahraini, if you wave, is a leader in Toastmasters International. We have Anna and one of her colleagues from Toastmasters who's going to be coming in and helping us how to improve not just your confidence, your delivery, but getting rid of those verbal tics that everyone's counting like, right? So come and join us. Registration is on right now. Nicole's got the link up at dle.dulye.com. Thank you, everyone. Don't forget, answer the poll. Cindy put a lot of effort in her customized DLE materials, and they're fabulous. Have a great night, everyone. Enjoy.